Greetings, students. Hi, this is Satyaki Chakraborty from Indraprastha Law College, Greater Noida, and today's topic of the day is District Consumer Redressal Agencies, and the subject is Consumer Protection Act and Competition Law of India, and this is particularly meant for BL-LLB 9 students. Students, in the last class, we have discussed about the several forms of consumer dispute redressal forums, and we discussed the three kinds of consumer dispute redressal forums too. The three kinds are: number one, district, the second is the state, and the third is the national commission or national dispute redressal forums. These commissions are also known as forums in colloquial language. So today's topic will be district forum or district consumer dispute redressal forum, that is DCDRF. DCDRF or District Consumer Dispute Redressal Forums was created by the state government, and it is headed by the person who is or has been or is eligible to be appointed as district judge, and had the district collector and all the MPs and MLAs and officials of all government department having consumer interface of the concerned district as concerned members. Let us look at the composition of DCDRF. Composition of the district forum. Number one, a person who is or has been or is qualified to be district judge shall be its president. Number two, two members, one of which shall be a woman who have the following qualification. Thirdly, be not less than 35 years of age. Fourthly, possesses a bachelor's degree from a recognized university. Fifthly, be person of ability, integrity and standing, and have adequate knowledge and experience of at least 10 years dealing with problems relating to economics, law, commerce, accountancy, industry, public affairs, or administration. Sixthly, every appointed shall be made by the state government on the recommendation of the selection committee, which will consist of the following members. Chairman will be the president of the state commission. So this is all about the composition of the DCDRF, that is District Forum or District Consumer Redressal Forum. What are the requirements? What were the basic eligibility? What are the basic qualifications that are required to be a member or an official body of the DCDRF? Now, let us take a peek at the functions of DCDRF. Now, please know, students, that DCDRF functions at the district level, and in the next coming classes, we will be discussing about the state and the national consumer dispute redressal agencies. The jurisdiction of DCDRF, is contained or is confined to the district itself and on the higher grounds in accordance to the laws that are amended. If the case may be so, certain in the domains of certain cases, it might move off to the state level or the national level in accordance to the circumstances as it might be. Now let us look at the functions of DCDRF. Number one, an aggrieved party, that is a consumer or any recognized consumer association listed under the Companies Act 1956 or under any other law for the period in force, one or group of consumers such as consumer forum with the same interest, or the central government or the state government, as the case may be, either in its individual capacity or the representative of interest of consumers in general, can file a complaint if the compensation sought is less than 20 lakhs. And the court can hear cases for companies that either operates an office or branch within the district limits, or the grievance occurred either partially or fully within the district. The law provides that DCDRF has the same powers as the civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. So please note the last line of the third point, that is, the law that has been provided to DCDRF functions at the equal level as the civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. So The civil court has the same power of the DCDRF, or the DCDRF has the functions or has the same power as the civil court, which comes under the purview of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, and all the grievances and the complaints and the steps that are taken on the grounds of the occurrences tend to occur in the domains of the district itself. Now, functions in accordance to the cases as may be. Number 1, once the district consumer forum decides in the favor of the consumer, it can ask to, number 1, rectify the deficiency in the product to what is claimed. Number 2, repair any defect free of costs. Number 3, provide similar or superior product in place of existing product. 4, refund the amount paid in full, that is, provide the proper compensation or exchange the product with a superior product. Recompose for any damage, cost or inconvenience. Of course, that is about compensation again. Stop the sale of product in the market altogether. It might so happen that it may be so that there may be a notification or an order given that the product might have to be stopped being sold in the market altogether. Either discontinue or not to repeat any unfair or restrictive practices. And lastly, issue corrective advertisement in place of earlier misrepresentation. So the last 2 points are very important, that it might take necessary steps so that such unfair or restrictive trade practices which are hazardous to the consumer might has to stop or discontinue. And lastly, proper advertisement should be made, and the earlier form of misrepresentation which is causing a serious damage to the consumer has also to be stopped, and the corrective measures should be taken so that the correct form of advertisements are portrayed so that it becomes easy and convenient for the consumer or the buyer to understand and buy the proper product without falling any prey to any kinds of misrepresentation or falling prey to any kinds of hazardous means of problems that they tend to face owing to buy a wrong product. Now, role of the consumer redressal agencies. Number 1, role of the consumer redressal agencies in promoting consumer welfare. Of course, it looks at the welfare of the consumer so that the consumer does not fall under any domains of misrepresentation, to stop any forms of wrongful, unfair and regressive trade practices, and if fallen prey to any kinds of wrongdoing, they might be compensated. Or secondly, secretary law of the department of the state member, who is a secretary who is in charge of the department, might deal with the consumer affairs in the state member. So secretary of the law department, who is also a state member, plays a very important role in the district consumer redressal agencies, who looks into the welfare of the consumer and also looks at the safeguarding the rights of the consumer too. So this is a gist about the DCRDC, or the District Consumer Redressal Agencies. Thank you, class. But please remember that in the next classes we'll be discussing about the state consumer redressal agencies and the national consumer redressal agencies too, the powers, the functions and the role it tends to play in safeguarding the rights of the consumer. Thank you.